Okay, so hello everyone. We are from Group 6, and the member of Group 6 is Lala Melanie with student numbers 137, and myself, Farah Zahra, and the student numbers is 138. So the first thing, the type of reading, we got four types. The first one is perspective, the second one is selective, the third one, interactive, and last but not least is extensive reading. So the first one is about interactive reading. Interactive reading can be used for selected tasks. It's also a combination of form and meaning focused objective. Emphasis meaning more. The text is slightly short, longer. It also can using chart, graphic, and other graphic which contain complex format. So the first one is gonna be about closed tasks. These tasks were developed for native language reader and using concept of closure in psychology. The ability to fill in gaps is an incomplete image, visual, auditory, or cognitive, and also supply. The first is fixed ratio dilation. So the closed tests are usually a minimum 2 paragraphs and can be constructed relatively easy as long as the specification for choosing dilation and scoring are defined. So in this assessment, this is really fixed, like every 7 word is blank, so the student have to fill the blank space. That's why this called fixed ratio dilation. This typically delayed, the dilation is in every 7 word plus or minus 2.
Okay, the next is rational dilation. In the rational dilation, we choosing dilation according to the grammatical or the source punctuation of words. This is the example of rational dilation tags.
The next one, we're gonna talk about impromptu reading plus comprehensive question. So here's we have the reading comprehension passage, which is text, quite a lot of text. And after that, we are going to have some questions. So in this assessment, the question represent ability of effective reading, skimming for the main idea, scanning for details, guessing word meaning from context, inferencing, and using discourse markers, among others. The comprehension features can be seen as main idea, expression, inference, grammatical, detail, facts, which is not written, supporting idea, and also vocabulary in context.
Okay, the next is short answer tags. This is example of open-ended reading comprehension question, which is short answer tags. There are 5 questions based on the context or the reading. And this is alternative for multiple choice question and more valid.
The next, we have editing longer text. So in this assessment, it can be encounter the contrived format of unconnected sentence. Text simulates proofreading one-to-one essay. Test is connected to a specific curriculum. So In this assessment, the student, can guess which one is the wrong grammar based on the sentence itself. They provide options and the student can pick one, which is the wrong one.
Okay, the next is scanning. Scanning is strategy used to find relevant information in a text. The assessment is by presenting test takers with a text and requiring identification of relevant information. Okay, this is the possible stimuli include, the first one is 1 to 2 page news article, essay, chapter in a text box, technical report, table or chart depicting some research findings, menu, application form. Okay, among the variety of scanning objective, the test taker must locate it. The first one is a date, name, or place in an article. The second one is the setting for a narrative or the story. And the third one is the principal division of a chapter. And then the principal research finding in a technical report. And the next, a result reported in a specified cell in a table. And the next, the cost of an item on a menu and specified data needed to fill out an application.
Okay, so the next one we have sequencing. It's a way to teach students various writing conventions for indicating logical and or chronological sequencing. So we can see in this assessment, the student given like random sentences. So the student need to put it in the arrangement, which is chronological sequencing.
Okay, the next is information transfer, which is reading charts, maps, graphs, and diagrams. Converting such nonverbal input into conversible intake also interpret that information to someone else. This is the example of the task for assessing interpretation of graphic information.
Okay, so the next assessment is going to be extensive reading.
Okay, extensive reading applies to text of more than a page. And in this category, there are journal articles, technical reports, longer essay, short stories, and books. Reading of this type of this course almost always involve a focus on a meaning using mostly top-down process. Bottom
Okay, so the next one we have extensive reading.
Okay, extensive reading applies to text of more than a page. And the example of this category, like journal articles, technical reports, longer essays, short stories, and books. Reading of this type of this source almost always involves a focus on meaning using mostly top-down processing, with only occasional use of a target bottom-up strategy. The The purposes of assessment usually are to tap into a learner's global understanding of a text, as opposed to asking test taker to zoom in on small details.
Okay, so the first one, we have skimming task. So skimming is the process of rapid coverage of reading matter to determine its gist or main idea. It is prediction strategy used to give a reader a sense of the topic and purpose of the text, the organization of the text, the perspective or point of view of the writer, its easy or difficulty, and or its usefulness to the reader. So assessment of skimming strategy is usually straightforward to the test taker and answers questions such as the following. So here's the following assessment for the skimming task. Usually it's like the main idea, what is the outer purpose, or what kind of writing is this, something like that. Next.
Okay, the next is summarizing and responding. Summarizing requires a synopsis or overview of the text, while responding asks the reader to provide his or her own opinion on the text as a whole or on some statement or issue within it. Okay, this is one of the common most means of assessing extensive reading is to ask the test taker to write a summary of the text. This is the example of direction of summarizing. Like, for example, write 100 until 150 words and supporting idea. And this is the criteria of assessing a summary. Like, for example, express accurately the main idea and supporting idea, is written in the student's own words. Occasionally, vocabulary from the original text is acceptable and is logically organized. And the last one is displays facility in the use of language to clearly express ideas in the text.
Okay, so we also have responding. So responding of further interest in assisting extensive reading is the technique of asking a student to respond to a text. Responding may be prompted by such direction as this. So here's the assessment for the directions for responding to reading. One criterion for a good response here is the extent to which the test taker accurately reflects the content of the article and some of the argument therein. Next. For the reading component of the responding task, as well as the summary text, a holistic scoring system may be feasible. So here's the holistic scoring scale. We have the highest score, which is demonstrates clear, and for the lower, which is 2, demonstrate comprehension of the main idea but lack of comprehension of some supporting idea. And we got 1 for demonstrate only partial comprehension of the main idea and supporting idea. And there's also 0 if the student demonstrate no comprehension of the main idea and supporting idea. Thank you. Next.
Okay, the next is note taking and outlining. A reader's comprehension of extensive text may be assessed through an evaluation of a process of note-taking and or outlining. Both note-taking and outlining utility is in the strategic training that learners gain in retaining information through marginal notes that highlight key information or organizational outlines that put supporting ideas into a visual manageable framework. And this is the visual illustration to how to use the outlining method. This is like we put general points and subtopic, main topic, specific details, and so on.
So we just finished our presentation. Let us know if you have any questions, yeah. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed and gaining a new knowledge. See you!